One of the things that I love about Christmas lights is it's a magical experience at the end of the day. And that's how we're able to sell Christmas lights at $6 or $8 to $12 a foot to be able to do that. Some people I know in the landscape world, that I've heard a lot of people say, I've tried Christmas lights. There's no money in Christmas lights. And so there is money in Christmas lights, and there's a lot of profit in Christmas lights.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Nashville, Tennessee. Our guest today, I'm going to say your sixth. That's what I was going to guess. It is Jason from YouTube, and he does pressure washing as well as Christmas lighting. Is that a fair summary?
That is a fair summary.
So how'd you get into pressure washing and Christmas lighting?
So I was a full-time fireman back in 2012, and I was sitting in my recliner like firemen do, and don't have anything to do on the 2 days off. So one of the guys came in and he's like, I'm going to start a pressure washing business. I said, you're crazy, dude. And so from there, I started. In my former life, I was a diesel mechanic, so I used to do a lot of pressure washing on stuff, and you spray stuff, and grease was flying everywhere, and it was the most disgusting thing ever. And from that, I was like, I'm going to start researching it. So I started researching it for these houses, and I started seeing the profit, the money into it. And so I started my pressure washing business in 2012. In 2014, I wanted to start growing it and to bring employees because I wanted it just more than me. So I started bringing them. So that's when I started doing Christmas lights in 2014.
Are you still in fire services?
So I actually quit/retired early for the firefighter, but I am the captain of a water rescue where I live at. It's an all volunteer organization, and I'm actually the captain of that organization now.
Okay. So we'll get into Christmas lightings because a lot of y'all have been asking me about that. And I'm like Chevy Chase, where the cat and everything goes off, so I don't touch Christmas lights. I could tell you some funny stories of how sour that went for me. But before we get into that, and we will get into that, I want to pick your brain about the pressure washing. So I'm a rookie at this. How do you kind of get started? What's the proper setup? Gallon per minute, PSI, surface cleaner. Walk us through just getting started. I don't want to touch soft washing right now. I just want to do driveways and sidewalks.
So you want anything for the gallons per minute is more important than pressure. So you want to be anything over 4 gallons a minute. Pressure doesn't do anything. Pressure just destroys stuff and causes more issues. So you got to be
4 gallons per minute. Okay, you said more than 4 gallons.
4 gallons or more.
Okay.
The higher gallons per minute you go, the faster you'll be able to get stuff done. So if you're on a budget starting out, a 4 gallon a minute is going to cost you anywhere from about $1,000 to $2,000 plus a nice surface cleaners, a couple $100, and that's how you get doing driveways.
Now I went to Lowe's and I went twice and I wasn't able to get one with 4 gallons per minute. They had some on the shelf, but none of them were 4 gallons per minute, and I was unsuccessful. So where do I went to Harbor Freight and I had one for like $989, but I didn't know if I should trust it. Harbor Freight's not necessarily the best.
So there's quite a few different pressure washing stores that offer commercial grade pressure washers. Yeah, you can go buy the DeWalt from Lowe's or whatnot. That's 4 gallon a minute, but it's probably not going to last you long.
So they do sell, it just wasn't in stock in my store.
Yeah, so I would, there's stuff online that you can buy through different avenues, through pressure wash stores and stuff like that. And so that's where I always had a supplier that I dealt with.
What city are you in?
I was in Cincinnati, and the guy that I actually bought it from was in Louisville. So he was about 2 or 3 hours away from me. He still shipped it to me and all of that good stuff.
Okay, I got a friend going to visit up in Dayton, Ohio.
Yep. So my service area of my Christmas light was Cincinnati, obviously, and then we actually did Dayton too. We covered Dayton area of where my pressure washing and Christmas light business was.
Okay. So, and I know you're talking to a rookie here, but a 4 gallon per minute pressure washer, surface cleaner would then be 16 inches.
So the goal is 4 gallons 4 inches per every gallon. So if you got a 4 gallon a minute, you really should be around the 16, 18 inch surface cleaner is where you want to be at.
Okay. And then when it comes to pricing, so far I've just been doing jobs for free, just for family, friends, just trying my first job, since you're from Cincinnati, looked like the Cincinnati Bengals helmet. The stripes, Yep. So thankfully it was for my friend, and he took, he just laughed at me and was like, you got to learn this a little bit better. But I want to get into pricing. Once I do get rid of the stripes, and I think if I get a 4 gallon per minute, 16 inch surface cleaner and go nice and slow, I could probably do better. How do I know what to charge?
So in concrete, we charge anywhere from 20 to 35 cents per square foot. So we do it by square foot because that's the best way that we can obviously do it through Google. And so we can measure it out on Google Maps and be able to get that measurement from there.
Okay. Then you said 20 cents per square foot?
20 to 30 cents per square foot, yes.
Okay. You do all that virtually, Jason?
Everything virtually, yes, sir.
Okay. And then what services? I know Jason's an expert on this. He's talking to someone who can't even figure out how to buy a pressure washer at Lowe's, but I appreciate the help. Our audience is lawn care and landscape professionals, but in the winter, the grass is dormant.
Right.
So you have Christmas lighting. In the drought, maybe there's not people wanting your grass cut. Pressure washing is a service. So it's definitely a connection to my audience, but a lot of guys are like me. They're like, I don't even know where to get started.
Yeah, and so one of the biggest things I always tell people when you're starting, don't worry about equipment so much. Go start selling jobs because, I know people that they'll sell you a $20,000 rig, but a $20,000 rig isn't going to make you no money. If you're wanting to try it out and test it, go rent it from Lowe's. You can rent, or Home Depot. I know Home Depot rents some of your places. So you can rent the surface cleaner and you can rent the pressure washer. You can literally rent it for like $150. You go out and do a $500 job. You're at, $200-300 profit right out of the get-go. And then that way you can kind of decide what you want and how you want to be able to look at growing that business. And, the hardest thing about a pressure washing business is like any other business. It's getting the closing sales. And at the end of the day, anybody can pressure wash. Pressure washing is a $10 an hour task. I literally pay somebody $10-15 an hour and they'll pressure wash. But closing those jobs is really the hardest part of the pressure washing business.
Thank you, Jason. I want to get into Christmas lighting. You're the expert on that, and I'm a rookie at that as well. So where do you even get started?
So I love Christmas lights. I have a lot of YouTube videos on Christmas lights. I have a whole channel on YouTube. I have a Facebook group, Christmas Lights Training and Community, and I teach a lot of the Christmas lights on there. I have 2 classes. One is an in-person training. So I know a lot of people are the hands-on type of people. So that's why I do that. I'm actually a hands-on type of person. I'm very good with my hands. Sometimes I can't read stuff, so I'm able to do it hands-on. And so from that, I made my my class a hands-on. So day 1 is all about marketing, and because I believe marketing and sales is the most important part of business. So day 1 is all about marketing and sales. And then day 2 is all about the hands-on portion of it. Getting on roofs, how to get on roofs safely. And we have props that are all down to the ground. So that way, if you fall off, you're falling off on 6 inches versus 20 feet up in the air.
That's good.
So one of the things that I love about Christmas lights is it's a magical experience at the end of the day. And that's how we're able to sell Christmas lights at $6 or $8 to $12 a foot to be able to do that. Some people, I know in the landscape world, that I've heard a lot of people say, I've tried Christmas lights. There's no money in Christmas lights. And so there is money in Christmas lights, and there's a lot of profit in Christmas lights.
Okay, so walk us through a job, Jason. Do they buy the Christmas lights and you put them on, or do you bring the Christmas lights and explain the whole process?
So we sell it as a service. And as that service, what we do is we bring our lights, or my lights, we install my lights on their house. And from that, if they have any issues during the year, we will come back and fix them, no problem. If they got a bulb, we'll go up, screw in that one bulb to make sure that their lights are working year round. So they don't ever have to worry about their lights not working. And then at the end of the season, then we finish the service by removing the lights, and we take the lights with us, and then we store the lights for at our facilities.
What week do you put the lights on, and what week do you take them off?
So when you're first starting out, usually you'll start November 1st-ish, and you'll go up to about December 10th is the season. You might get to December 15th, just depending on how the season goes. And then in January 1st to how many lights you got, which if you're just starting out, you're only going to probably be about 3 or 4 days and you'll have them all down. Year 2, year 3, you start growing. You're going to start putting them up in October, and then you'll start taking them down the whole month of January. It'll take you the whole month to get them back down.
How many Christmas light customers do you currently have?
So I actually sold my business, but when I had my business going, I had over 225 customers at that time, and we were doing right at $500,000 in lights.
Okay, and who did you sell it to, and how did that all work out?
So I actually sold the business to some people may know Josh Latimer, Brandon Vaughn, some of those guys.
Yeah.
We all sold our business to the same company right around the same time. Josh sold his first, Brandon sold his, and then I sold mine to the same company. We were all doing right at $1 million when we sold to that company. And so that's how I was able to sell that company. But one thing that helped us sell our businesses is we had 3-year contracts for our Christmas lights. And so that was something that helped us get more money because we had a reoccurring thing versus just the equipment at the end of it.
Yeah. What's the biggest lesson you learned? We had Jonathan Potashnik on. I don't know if you saw him yesterday. He built and sold Service Autopilot for a massive amount of money. And, I was kind of asking him, Jason, what did you learn throughout that whole process? And it's until you actually go through it, there's things you don't even realize. What did you learn selling a business like that?
It's not a business is not worth as much as you think it is a lot of times. I know people are like, this is a question I've been asked a lot, probably in the last couple of weeks, is how much is my business worth, Jason? Or I want to buy, this guy's selling his business and asking me $30,000 and he's only got $16,000 coming back. And so, I always tell people your business really is only worth your equipment. And then unless you have contracts and stuff like that, that's basically what your business is going to be worth. If you have a lot of debt, if your business doesn't run by itself, then that's another issue, right? Because at that point, you're only getting the list of people and maybe your good website, or if you even have a good website.
Now, do you have a family?
I'm married. I have 2 girls. So, yeah.
How old are they?
They're 9 and 14. And so my 14-year-old, my soccer player, she's my goalie. So that's what I do a lot of.
Did they get your height or?
She's 5'8" as a female, so that's pretty tall.
Now, did you play football or basketball or?
I did not. I was actually homeschooled, and so I was one of those weird kids that was homeschooled. But I went and I was an auto mechanic in there, and I went and I got a full ride at a auto trade school for diesel and auto mechanic.
Up in Ohio?
Yep, up in Lima, Ohio.
Okay, yeah. I grew up in Canton, Ohio. And I'm familiar with Ohio. I went to Athens to OU, Ohio University.
Yeah.
So then I moved down south.
Yeah, I went to Northwestern University, which is a university now. So
nice. So what's your best tips for a lawn care landscaping professional who's thinking about expanding the service offerings? What would you suggest? Pressure washing or Christmas lights or both?
I would definitely. Christmas lights is way profitable. I love Christmas lights. I mean, yes, you can do pressure washing, but I'm more on the Christmas light side, especially if you love doing landscaping and you want to keep doing the landscaping. Christmas lights is definitely something that it is super highly profitable as long as you're selling the experience, you learn how to do it. And so the biggest thing I would say is learn how to do it and learn from someone that knows what they're doing and where you want to be at is where I would say that would be.
Okay. And tell us about your Christmas light training. How can somebody get comprehensive training on this versus just a couple snippets on a podcast?
So I have christmaslights.io. If you go there, you can check it out. I have my online training. It's a full course. I do weekly Zoom calls on it. So that way, if you have questions, you can come in and do it. Through the course, I will set you up a website with the monthly fee that you do. Or if you want to do the in-person training, again, I do an in-person training where you can go to, it's in Raleigh, North Carolina. There's one in September and October. And that's where you can actually come, and it's a 2-day intense. All your meals are paid for, everything. And it's very hands-on. And like last class we had, I actually had fire. I didn't mean to make fire, but I did have fire of what not to do. So
nice. Now, tell us about your YouTube channel. What kind of content, how often you put it out there? What's the channel's name?
So I got Christmas Lights Help. If you check it out there.
Christmas Lights what?
Help, H-E-L-P.
That's the name of the channel?
That's kind of wherever you'll find me at. And it talks all about Christmas lights. It's not, I go live on there every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern. And then every Sunday night and Wednesday night on my King of Pressure Wash channel. I also have King of Pressure Wash YouTube channel. And on there, you will get Wednesday night and Thursday night at 9 o'clock Eastern. I go live, so I basically do this, but with you as the audience. I just ask questions, and I do have people that come on, and then we will answer people's questions too.
Okay. So follow Jason on the YouTube And if you guys want more of the Christmas light training, definitely get into that. What's the website again for that?
Christmaslights.io.
Okay. Well, I really appreciate your time, Jason. Is there anything we're leaving out or any tips you have for me as I go up to Ohio? I'm going to pressure wash my parents' driveway. They moved into their house in 1999 and they haven't had it pressure washed since then.
So I will just give a safety tip of just remember you are using high pressure, and high pressure can kill you, and it's very dangerous. And a lot of people think that it's just a pressure washer, but in the end, it's more than a pressure washer. I've seen some people get injured here lately, and that's,
How so?
Safety first. You hit the nozzle on your hand, or they cut it open, or one guy had a soft wash, shot it right in his eyeball. So it's definitely some bad stuff that can happen to you.
Okay. How do I avoid the Cincinnati Bengals aftermath?
Well, that's a good question.
What's the answer?
Stay away from the downtown area.
No. I'm saying,
You mean
the driveway looking like a stripe of the Cincinnati Bengals.
Oh, yeah, it's stripes. Go slow. That's the key to it. Don't go too fast. A lot of times we want to get in a hurry and go fast, but if we're using a surface cleaner, you got to go slow, and that's the key to it, is just going slow.
I have a 20-inch Simpson and then a 16-inch BE.
Yeah.
And I haven't bought my pressure washer yet. Should I return one of the surface cleaners and get a 4-gallon per minute pressure washer? Or?
Yeah, I would get a 4-gallon minute pressure washer is what I would do for sure. And then on that, I would probably get rid of the BE is actually a pretty good surface cleaner. That's the one I would probably keep.
Get rid of the Simpson 20.
Yeah.
All right. Well, go support Jason, guys. Mr. Producer will put his links in the show notes to the Christmas light training, and his YouTube channel is King of Pressure Washing.
Yep.
Okay, I've seen you pop up because my friend SB, do you know SB Pressure Washing?
Yep, I do.
He's a friend of the show, and I watch his stuff. It's oddly satisfying, and then you pop up because of the algorithm. So I didn't know that was you. I just see that name all the time.
Yep, that's me. So.
Cool. Well, it's great meeting you, and go Bengals.
That's right. Thank you.
See ya.